This is Matthew 24:12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Doing this video because just want to go into the selfishness of this world and of this kingdom. So again, Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So we don't go into that word iniquity. And it says, it's the Greek word anomia, which means a condition without law because of ignorance of it, because of violating it, contempt or violation of the law, iniquity or wickedness. But basically, it's basically lawlessness. You know, to be in a condition without law is basically lawlessness, disorder. So whether on purpose, violating it, or ignorant, where you just don't know. And what is the law? Or there will be sin. Sin is actually the transgression of the law. We go with 1 John 3:4. Let me get that real quick. 1 John 3:4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So basically, if you have no law, that's where sin comes in. And if we're gonna look up this word shall abound, and it's Greek plethuno, and it says to increase, to multiply, to be increased, to multiply, to be increased. So it says because iniquity shall abound, meaning that a condition without law shall be increased. So more and more people are going to basically disregard the law totally. So that's so it means by it's gonna increase. And in order to keep the law, you have to love is the fulfillment of the law. So we're gonna go to this is Matthew the 22nd chapter, 34. And it says, but when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him, saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So in order to keep the law, you must love, because if you have love for the Most High, you will do what He says to do in this world. You'll keep His laws. I mean, you love Him enough not to go and worship idols. You love Him enough to make your bodies their living sacrifice. You love Him enough to do what He says do. Same thing with your brother or your neighbor. You love, like for my brother, I love him enough not to go and sleep with his wife. I love him enough to let him know, hey, he's going off. I love him enough to, for him to correct me, and I would hope you do the same for me. So this is Galatians 5:14. And it says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So once again, you got to keep the law in order to show love. And many people, especially nowadays, They don't give a damn about nobody else but themselves. It's all about self and, self gain. It's all about thinking about self, what you can get out of anything. Everything is for your own selfish motives. Nothing is to really help your brethren out. You know. This is Second Timothy verse starting at chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemous, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from which turn away. But like you said, it's going to be lovers of their own selves in verse 2, and then that's why I say, like, people do anything just to, forward their own, their own belly, you know, fill their own belly. That's all people are about is self. It ain't about helping others. It ain't about the brother here. It just ain't about helping nothing. Just all about yourself. And that's a very, very, very destructive mindset to be in. And also lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. And that's highly destructive there. Because being disobedient to the Most High is actually what got us in these situations. What got us under these curses is through our disobedience. I'm going to go to Jude 1:18. And it says, how that they told you there should be mockers in the last time, who shall walk after their own ungodly lusts. There he goes again, walking after your own ungodly lusts. Because like I said before, it's all about self. And I think one of the worst mindsets to be in is that doest thou wilt. Because that doest thou wilt, that will, that's terrible there. Just letting you brothers know, man. That's a very terrible mindset to be in. Because people believe that you do whatever you want to do whatever makes you feel happy. Ain't no consequences. Hey, YOLO, you only live once. And that's a terrible, terrible way to be. But this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and the little spark in the moving heart. So they're saying, hey, we born, we die, we not going to come back. Verse 3, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is a very shadow that passes away, and after our end there is no returning. For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in the youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. See, this way we go, living YOLO, living life to the fullest, as they always say. Do whatever you want to do whatever makes you happy. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Let our strength by the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean, contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. So they just saying, hey, we can do whatever we want to do with whoever we want to do it, and don't worry about. They saying no consequence for whatever we do, or who we offend, or who we take advantage of, who we kill in the midst, just whatever. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from the filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his Father. Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if he, the just, for if the just man be the Son of God, he will help him and deliver him with from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. And it says, such things they did imagine, and were deceived, for their own wickedness hath blinded them. Exactly. They felt as if they can do any and everything, whatever they want to do to the elect, to the righteous individual, to the Most High's chosen. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, nor hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal, and he made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that hold of his side do find it. And that's that YOLO mentality. Like I said, bro, that's very destructive. It will lead you astray. Have you on that wide path doing whatever you want to do. But we through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom. So we laboring to go through that straight gate. And shall hope you brothers edified. And so I want to say shalom.